Okay, amazing. Again, thank you so much for making a decision to spend your Saturday morning with us or your Friday evening, wherever it is you are tuning in from. I hope everyone's doing well. So, for anyone who is just joining, please tell us your name and where you're joining in from. I think that that's extremely important. It also helps us to gauge what a massive or diverse audience that we've got. Before we get started, my name is Tayo Oriowo, and I'm going to be pretty much your guide into the tech space today, pretty much around not just into the tech space, but attaining actual success. And I've got both Noah and Tosin on the call as well, which is really amazing. We've got all of these, great individuals with yourselves as well on this call today. But before we get started, because the crux of what we want to discuss today is all about what people are going through, a lot of things that people have told us. And as a matter of fact, what baited today's session is really due to a lot of questions that has come our way. People feel stuck where they're currently at. And I know that that may not necessarily be your situation right now for some people on this call, but there are people who genuinely feel stuck in the career they are currently on and they're seeking a way out. They want to do something different. They actually want to get into a space where they are performing in alignment with their higher self. And if you know anything about us, that's what we optimize for. We want you to perform in your career, whatever it is that you're doing, in your highest self, not just settling. Okay. So, with that understanding, if you're comfortable, only if you're comfortable, I would love to ask everyone on the call to please tell me what you currently do for work. So, something around, my name is Taya, and I currently work as XYZ. And why? Why do you currently do what you do? If it's because you love it, sweet. If it's because you've settled, amazing. Let's see how we can make that, well, we can change that story. If it's because you didn't know any better, let's see how we can get you out of that because that's the most important thing. The whole point of life is not to settle. There's only a fair bit of hours or time that we're going to spend. Like if you go into the Bible and look at like the average hour that any human being will spend on this planet, right? So please, I want us to do that quick exercise. If you're just joining, all we're doing right now is we just want to do a sense check and get a bit of a temp in the room, what you currently do for work and why. So your why could be a lot of different reasons. It could be genuinely because you love it, or it could be because you simply do not know better. It could be because that's where you've always wanted to, or that is what you've always wanted to do. So if you guys could do me that single favor, it would be really amazing. So please tell me what you currently do for work and why you're in that career right now. Okay. So of course, like I said, I already introduced ourselves. I'll get Noah and Tosin to do a very quick intro of themselves as well before we proceed. Noah.
Yeah, thank you so very much, everybody, for joining. I'll just keep it short. If we're just meeting, my name is Noah, and I'm the founder of Sing Skills. And here at Sing Skills, in fact, I think 2 days ago was our second year anniversary.
Yes.
We've been on a mission to help Africans, immigrants, based here in Australia, UK, Canada, US, to basically change their life. And what I mean by that is a lot of people actually are looking for a different path. And we say that for us, like Taya was saying, we don't want you to settle. We understand and recognize that a lot of issues that you have to deal with as an immigrant ourselves when you migrate, right? And it's not always easy. And sometimes, in the course of that, the advice you get always affects that journey. So for us, we say that we want to educate people to see, possibilities, especially around the tech sector. We think that there are a lot of opportunities um, that you can leverage and create opportunity and the life that you truly deserve because there are a lot of people who are so talented. They've been doing amazing things back home, And now they've come to a new country and they're kind of like struggling or settling. And we're saying it doesn't have to be that way. And the joy that we feel, what fires us up every day is the fact that we're seeing result as a result of the work that we do as seeing skills, and people are changing their lives. In fact, this week we've seen a surgeon become a business analyst, and she's incredibly happy, and we appreciate the journey. And that is what is possible if you determine that you're not going to settle and you're going to go for it to achieve your fullest potential. We know for a fact a lot of people are stuck, frustrated in the current career path that they are. They think that they are more, and genuinely they should. You should always think that you're more, but they don't have information. I speak to them every day, so I know. So we're saying, hey, let's talk to you all and share some of our learnings, experience, and share basically on the things that are possible. Then you can make do with that information. To at least know that today there's something else you can, explore if you're passionate enough to go on that journey. And yeah, that's what really I commit my life to doing at this stage, and it's exciting, and yeah, it's what gets me out of bed every morning, and I think
Amazing.
about. Thank you, and I'll pass it to Tosin.
Thanks, Noah. Tosin?
Thanks, Noah. Thank you, Tayo. Hello, everyone. Good morning again, and thank you for spending your morning with us, or if you're in another part of the world, your evening or your afternoon. By way of introduction, my name is Tosin Homelani. I'm a coach and a mentor, and I mentor people to transition, well, I would say successfully transition to no-code tech roles. And this is something that I'm passionate about. It's something that gets me out of bed in the morning, pumped for the day. Particularly when we hear success stories. No, I just mentioned one, beautiful story last week of a surgeon transitioning to the tech space. And it's something that keeps us pumped and it's something that keeps us moving every day. Particularly, when we see months and months of work turn out to something very successful, to yield really better results. So like Taya said, at Sync Skills, our mission is very clear, to resolve the underrepresentation of skilled African immigrants in the workforce. And the reason why I say skilled is a lot of, particularly, a lot of Africans actually come here, and they've been doing a lot of, skilled work in their previous workplace or in their previous environment or previous country, and then they've come here and they're doing something completely different. And you see, when you talk to a couple of, immigrants, a lot of them are not happy because they don't feel fulfilled, because they feel they can contribute more, they can give more. Like you see people come here on skilled visas and then, they're doing something completely different from what they've actually been trained for. Some of us have tremendous, transferable skills that we can actually leverage if we work in an environment like tech. And as you guys know, there's a lot of innovation in the tech space. Tech is ruling the world, and even if you've come from a finance background or an HR background or whatever background that it is, that space requires innovation and that space requires tech. Right. So you can transfer all of these skills, all of your technical skills, all of the skills that you've acquired over the years, and particularly your soft skills, and leverage it in this particular space. And that's what we are skilled and trained at doing. It's something that we've been doing for years now. It's something that we're passionate about. And it's something that we tell our students that if you commit yourself to the process, and if you allow your motivation to drive you, you definitely would see yourself where exactly you've envisaged, or, whatever plan that you've actually, set for yourself. So again, we're looking forward to a very beautiful session. We encourage everyone to ask questions, particularly if you're not very sure of what you want to, what you want to do at this stage, or maybe someone has mentioned it to you and you feel, okay, I think tech is the way for me. I think I might find fulfillment in doing this. I think I've got some transferable skills that I might be able to leverage in this particular workspace, but you just want some more information on whether this is for you. Pen down your questions. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions at any point in time. And yeah, we look forward to really beautiful engagement. Thank you, Tayo.
Sweet. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Noah. And if you're just joining, you are very much welcome. Again, I hope that you're doing well. If you wanted to leave us a message in the group chat, pretty much your name and where you're tuning in from would be really amazing. I did pose a question, asking us what we do for work. I can probably tell a lot of people aren't too comfortable to share that, and that's fine. Okay. That's if you're in that box or category of people that you kind of felt, I don't feel comfortable sharing that. I'm a bit hesitant to tell them what I do for work, then that's a big problem. Okay. If you're in a job or you're working in a place that you're not proud to tell people, then that is an indication telling you that perhaps it is time to make a switch. But I ran and because we're very realistic and very practical about the things that we do here. And this is not one of those sessions where we just want to like tell you who a business analyst is or who tech is or whatnot. I want everyone to pretty much sit down in a comfortable place and think about, hey, what am I currently doing right now? Is there an opportunity? Is that truly the highest thing that I can do? Is that truly what I want to do? Sometime this week, myself and Noah, we bumped on a video on social media, and I was like, wow, this is one of the most profound thing I found online, because it is sad and it is true. And it's simply the irony of the aged care and disability sector. And this is what I mean, because someone may look at them like, oh, what does she mean? For people who have worked in that sector, and I know that because I have worked in that sector before, right? When I moved to Australia and I had to do it for a while, and that's fine. But the quality of people that I met in that sector is mind blowing. And now this particular, I think it's from Zimbabwe, he put a video up and said, oh, he worked in aged care at some point, and he was just thinking about how much talent are in those sectors. So you see people who were originally doctors back wherever they've come from. They would come here and settle and work as assistants in nursing. You see people who were like accountants back in Nigeria. They come here, they settle for disability support worker. You see people who were engineers. And goodness me, I went into the comment of that particular post, and my jaw dropped once more, because people kept on saying, yes, that's me. I was a teacher back where I came from. Now I work in this world. I was a this where I came from. And now I work in this place. And for a moment, I sat down there and just questioned everything and said to myself, why? Actually, what is the why? What is causing that? If you've got an answer, please feel free to pop it in the group chat. Because I kept on thinking, we've got exemplary talent. We've got people who have got so much skill, but they have now found themselves working in sectors that is way below their skill level, that is way below what they can offer the world. And look, there is absolute dignity in every job. If you do love it, by all means, congratulations. And that's why I'm super happy for you. I'm here for people who feel stuck in that career path. I'm here for people who feel unfulfilled doing it. I'm here for people who feel like they're not proud of talking or telling people what they do. I'm here for people who know that I have got much more to offer to the world than I am currently doing. And if you know anybody like that, please do not hold this information. Share this invite link and tell them to join this session. Why is it that from a migrant point of view, most people, once we come into the country, the first thing we're pitching to people is go and do certificate 3, go and do certificate 4. And I know that you're trying to help, but please, we need to stop doing that. We need to ask people questions. What were you doing before? What do you want? What do you truly love to do? However, to get started on this journey, you may decide to work in this sector for a short time. So you could settle and balance. I know some people have got financial commitment. They have probably committed, they've had to take some loans back where they've come from, just so they could fulfill their ability to come into the country, and they want to pay back in a short time. But we need to become very, very aware of what is available and what is possible for us to do in this country. Looking at the aged care and the disability sector, which has been a home to a lot of people, which has really helped a lot of people to settle and find their balance in the country. However, if you find yourself thinking every single time I want to go to work, my tummy, I feel a knot in my tummy, or I don't feel happy, or I'm only doing it for the money, then I'm saying to you, it is time to think deeply and try and evaluate what is out there for me. If it is tech, amazing. It may not be tech, it may be something else as well that would work for you. But it is high time you and I start to cut the all Africans, this is what we do in Australia. Nigerians, this is what we do. Immigrants, this is the only job that we do. I saw a post the other day talking about like immigrants are now Uber drivers. Is there any reason why us as immigrants cannot get to the top? Very rarely you would find immigrants in top levels, VPs, CEOs, all of these things. It's rare. We have pretty much relegated ourselves into like the let's just do what this is what everybody's doing. $20, everyone's happy. $20 is not going to make you rich. As a matter of fact, I think the way that the system is set up is once people come into the country, they feel lucky to even have the job that they do, even though they know for a certain that it is way below what they can offer. It is way below what they have that they can do, knowing fully well that they do not feel very fulfilled on that job. But it's like, oh, I before I even got this job, I did like 6 interviews. I did all the certificates, I did all the first aid, whatnot, da 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 da. So whatever profession that it is, if you feel stuck in there, I'm just using this as an irony because I know a lot of people have spoken about this. There are lots of other. I was talking to a diesel mechanic the other day, and it was telling me about how intense that role is, how much effort that role requires from him, and how it is impacting his health right now. If you're in a career path that you're paying so much price to be there, then it's time to evaluate. Like I said, tech may not even be for you, but generally, as our focus is to ensure that Africans do not just survive or strive in this country, we want them to actually thrive. I want everyone to pen down and start to think about, do I feel stuck in what I do? What does stuck mean to you? Have I just settled for what's available? Or am I doing this because that is truly what I enjoy doing? Am I doing this because this is truly where I can add the most value? So it is very, very important that we're thinking about what what potential do I have? How can I even start to cast my net wide? What are the things that I'm currently doing right now that stops me from using my abilities? How can I start to perform in alignment with my highest self, with my best self? But there's one thing that I really want us to keep in mind is that for you to get to the top, or for you to do anything successful, or for you to get out of whatever it is that you're currently doing. And thank you to the people putting some messaging in the group chat. I would have a look on no one to see if you guys wanted to address that. Okay, thank you. So it's really around the fact that there's no need for us to leave an unfulfilled potential just simply because we found ourselves in a country where we've had to restart a lot of things. Simply because I have had to start over. Guess what? That's not the problem. Starting over is not the problem. It becomes a problem where you see that as an excuse to just settle for what's available, or to just settle because, yeah, it took me a while before I could get this done. So what? I want to talk to us around unveiling our hidden potentials and thinking about, just not thinking about the fact that, oh, I don't have the talent. I speak to a lot of people say, oh, I'm not a smart person. I'm like, please don't ever say that. Oh, what's that popular one? I don't like I'm not book smart. I don't, I'm not good at this thing. Yes, that one. I'm not good at this thing. Oh, I can't do this. There is no such thing. The only reason you are not good at that particular thing is because you haven't done enough for your brain to recognize the pattern. The beauty about our brains is that we can pretty much direct it to go anywhere. If anyone decides tomorrow, hey, I want to learn how to fly a plane, guess what? Your brain would adjust. But if we all continue to sit and say, hey, I'm not going to do that because I'm not good at it. I'm just going to do nursing because I have studied for 6 years. I'm using that because someone put that in the chat. I've done that for 6 years and that's all I've known. Knowing fully well that that's not truly what you want to do. It's never too late to start. You've got the power to do just about anything. You're just not applying the right strategy. You're simply not doing the right thing. And the good news is there's nothing, I want us to really eliminate the old traditional belief of being fixed in our mindset. This is what I've always done, therefore I need to be stuck in it. This is what I need to do. No, you can build just about any skills. I'm saying it again for emphasis sake. We optimize for the tech space because we know that space correctly. But please note, we are not enforcing that on you. That may not necessarily be what you want to do. But the most important thing is to think about what is going to work for me. And what habits do you need to cultivate for you to get that? And I'm going to talk to us about those laws right now. The truth is, the beauty about getting to your potential is the fact that if you put in a lot of work, if you put the effort, if you have resilience, and most importantly, you know the right strategies, you work with the people that know exactly how to thread it, you would smash it. But also recognizing that nothing is impossible when you don't have the right strategy in place, you don't have the right mindset, and you do not believe in yourself. But there are some things that are not popularly spoken about, which I want to talk about today. And there are 4 key things for you to be able to align with your best self, for you to be able to get to your highest potential. You need to look inwards right now and do some things. Look, I was talking to a lady, I think about 2 weeks ago. She just recently relocated from the UK. And she said, Taya, I have always wanted to be a business analyst. I think based on XYZ reason. And I said, tell me, what are these reasons? She said, well, looking at some of my innate skills, my soft skills, these are the things that I have passion for. These are the things that I believe I am really good at. And I know that if I learn some more things, I would really, really smash any role, if it's business analysis, scrum master, or project manager. But she said something. She said, but Tayo, every single person around me keep telling me that, why am I stressing? Everybody around me do not believe that I can do it. And I asked her why. She said, well, I think it's because they're in a particular sector, so they don't see any reason I should be trying to look for something else. Oh, they tell me, oh, they've done this for 6 years, they've done this for 7 years, and they make money. I said, well, making money is relative. A lot of people are comfortably poor, but they don't know that because they look at their bank account and they rake home $100,000 per annum. They think they're rich. Guess what? You're still very comfortably poor. 200K, you're even still very comfortably poor. If you're not sitting on the 40 million mark of top, you are still very much comfortably poor. So let's not deceive ourselves because you look at your 3-4 jobs that you're doing and it brings you 100K per annum and say, yes, I've arrived, I have money. No, you don't. She said to me, I said, hey, Taya, everybody around me do not believe that I should be doing this because I said, well, it is time to audit the people around you. So you may be on this call and thinking, well, all the people around me, this is what they do. So let me settle. It's a big problem when the people in your circle are not doing what you want to do, or they do not understand where you see yourself in another 5 or 6 months. They can't help you on that journey. They simply cannot support you. Why? It's not because they don't love you. They love you, but they don't have the knowledge. So it's time. That's why we encourage communities. If you want to walk a path, You need to move in the circle of the people who are currently walking that path, or people who have walked that path, or supported people to walk that path. If you keep the people around you, people who don't believe in you, or people who do not think that you can, or people who are not like cheering you up to say, hey, Tosin, you don't have these skills at the moment. If you learn, you can get it. Oh, have you explored this? Oh, have you tried to do this? Those are the people that you need around you. Don't worry about them. They won't get upset. When you get to where you're going to, you guys can reconnect again. I'm not saying cut people off, but you just need to do some auditing and try and see for one person that you drop, you get one more individual who can support you on that journey. Someone who really understands where you're going to. So my story, this particular lady was starting to believe maybe truly she should give up in exploring any other career path and just do what all of our friends are doing. So please, I want us to think about that. Who are the people around me and how are they supporting me to align with my highest self? How are they supporting me to align with my best self? If you don't have such people around you, then it's time to evaluate. The same thing, asking advice from people who haven't done it before. I would speak to a lot of people and they will say, someone said to me, I should go and do data analysis. Why? Well, they just said that is what is in vogue. If people don't have real reasons for why you should do something, or even you cannot determine why you should do something, then you shouldn't embark on it. Why would I take advice from someone who haven't done what I want to do before? It's either they don't have enough knowledge to support me, or they would steer me in the wrong direction. And look, this is very, very subjective. There may be some situation where someone have not necessarily done what you've done before, but because they've studied, done some research, and they have that knowledge, they can support you. But for efficiency, if I want to learn, if I want to be more healthy, or if I want to start to embrace a more healthy lifestyle, be more active and quit sedentary lifestyle, there are people that I would not talk to because they have no clue in that area. Because even they are struggling, they're floating right now on how they can keep a healthy lifestyle. Why would I go and talk to someone like that on how to help me? It's important that we do not make mistakes or just talk to people just because that's the first person you saw when you came into the country, or because they're just a church member and they've been in the country for 15 years. You need to seek expert advice from experts, from people who have knowledge in that area. I do not know everything, and I acknowledge that. There are some things that I do on my work at Sync Skills and Justin Solutions that, yes, I do have the surface knowledge, but I seek expert advice. If I want to do digital marketing, I seek an expert. What is your view on this? If I want to put system processes in place, I know, okay, this is my strength. I do it. Where I don't have strength, why should I stress people who equally do not have strength? It's like saying, oh, just because my parents gave birth to me, they have all the advice that I need in life. No, they don't. They gave birth to me, they're amazing people, but they simply cannot give me the best advice every single time because they simply don't have the knowledge. So please, whatever it is that we're doing right now, when it comes to career, when it comes to health or whatnot, we are focusing on career today, but I think this is applicable in other areas of life. If I want to do something, if I want to change my career path, I would look for people who currently live and breathe that, because they are bringing you wealth of experience from talking to 500 people, 200 people. I have lost count of how many people I have spoken to. I have lost count of talking to, people day one and them telling me about their affairs, concerns on how it has been a big struggle for them to explore a career in tech. Tosin and Noah were sharing some of our success stories earlier. When you're in this pretty much path, when you speak to people day one and you look at their journey, day XYZ, and you contrast things and be like, wow, I recall when you talked to me about this massive pain, how you have struggled to work in your career, even though you studied MBIS, how you have struggled to attend interviews. But today, here you are in a six-figure job. Here you are working, not even as a business analyst alone, but as a senior business analyst, even though this is the first one that you're doing. So please, you want to take advice from people who have walked the path. I was watching a video the other day. I think that was Dan Mattel talking, and he made a sarcastic comment. He said, it's like if he wants to take advice about, parenting and having a healthy marriage, he wouldn't speak to Elon Musk because Elon Musk has got 12 children with three different women, meaning Elon Musk, in his opinion, cannot give him that type of advice. But Elon Musk is a world-class, top-class engineer. If he wants to do anything, if he wants to build a business or do anything, rocket or whatnot, he would be speaking to Elon Musk. Recognizing the strength of the people that you're talking to as well would help you. And it would make a 3-month journey 2 or 3 weeks. And if you go the other path, it could make a 3-month journey, a 3-year journey. So let's be careful. Another thing based on my conversation with a lot of people that I think we do is we blame people and blame things for every single thing. Oh, the reason I'm working or the reason I'm stuck in this place is because of Australia. Yes, Australia happens to everybody, but Australia is not the reason you're still staying there. Australia should not be the reason every single time you should want to punch the system in the face and try and find a way out. It is super easy to blame everybody and everything for my situation but myself. You are the problem. I am the problem. The reason I haven't tried to even say, okay, I feel stuck in this job that I do right now, or I am not happy on my job. The reason you haven't gone out there is not because of that visa that you have. Recognizing that there are some people on an employer-sponsored visa where you need to stay there, that's a different situation. If you don't have those complexities, then you are the problem. I started to tell myself, I'm going to stop blaming things for my situation. Oh, the reason I'm late to church is because there was a bit of traffic on the road. No, the reason I'm late to church is because I did not wake up early. It is not the traffic. I am the problem. Oh, the reason my house is untidy is because I've got a 17-month-old who would not allow me rest, who would take everything. No, that's not the reason. The reason is because I have left things where my 17-month-old can reach. So we need to take accountability for our own actions. Ask yourself today, is there any reason why I haven't done more than what I'm currently doing? Who have I spoken to? What have I tried to do? Have I spoken to experts? Have you consulted someone at SyncSkills as an example? Have you spoken to people in the community? Have you read things to help you get out of what you're currently doing? 10 years in Australia, you're still stuck in care work. 10 years in Australia, you're still stuck in disability. There's a lot of things, in there that we need to start to take accountability for our own actions. And let's not blame the system or the situation. The truth is, the system is set up the way the system is set up. There's always a way out of every difficult situation. Even for people that are currently on the journey right now, right? There are people who are currently learning, upskilling, and trying to build their skills. They blame every single thing. Oh, the reason I didn't attend class is because of this. The reason I didn't do this is because of this. The reason I'm not grabbing this is because of this. The reason you don't do it, or the reason you're not learning properly, is because of you, because you haven't given things enough time. So we need to quit the blame game and start to take responsibility. Because guess what? When you start to take responsibility, you can find a way out of it. I recognize the things in my life where I'm blaming other people but myself, and that's making me feel stuck in those things. When you take accountability, you can look inwards and say, hey, actually, there is an opportunity for improvement in here, and I'm going to do it this way. So whether it is you're on that journey of skilling and trying to learn, oh, the reason I don't know it is because I'm not smart. If you're on this call and you say that, please, I plead of you, I need you to delete that statement. Geniuses are not born. They made themselves who you are seeing today. There's a girl in my church, really, really smart girl, very smart girl. And I have always perceived her as a smart person just because of the way she talks. She's quite young, the way she carries herself. To my surprise, or rather not to my surprise, we got talking, and she said, oh, Auntie T, I read 3 hours every single day. This girl is less than 12. And I was like, okay, I get it. Now, someone will see this girl in school and say, oh my God, she's very smart. I'm not as smart as her. But they don't know what she does on the inside. A girl who is less than 12 takes 3 hours out every single day to study. For you to be a high performer or to be an high achiever at anything, there's a price that you need to pay for that. So if you're on the journey to upskilling right now, you're learning, I'm saying it to you, the reason that you're not grabbing SDLC or the reason you're not grabbing Scrum is not because you don't have the capacity, it's because you simply haven't given it time. You haven't learned it, you haven't read it, you haven't spent much time with it. You haven't given your brain cells enough time to create that pattern to say, oh, actually, we know this info, we read it. So please, let's stop the blame game. Let's stop blaming things or people for our situation. Stop blaming Australia's system. That's not going to change anything. I look at it, what's the whole point of blaming something that I cannot change? Why don't I look inwards and look at the things that I can change and start to itemize the how? How am I going to change this? Remember, for you to align to your best self, there are sacrifices that you need to make. There are things that you need to change as well. And these 4 laws, I'm saying we need to change it today. And that's a stepping stone for us. And another important thing I wanted to touch on is comparison, which kind of sticks into the whole not knowing what people are doing and then comparing yourself. Oh, the reason Tosin knows is because he's smarter, he's a smart person. Oh, the reason this person knows is you start to compare and then you start to feel sad. I don't think this is for me. Oh, no, he's really good at this. And I'm in the same class with him. I think it's only for professionals. What does that even mean? Stop comparing your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 35. Your life is different. Your journey is different. You know, I hear a lot of really interesting stories. And by the virtue of work that we do, I would listen to some people say, oh, I would only take something serious until my friend gets their result. Why? Why are we doing that? You know, why are we doing that? So you don't compare yourself to other people. We are all different. We are all simply different. Everybody's journey is different. Maybe I want to learn something, or maybe I want to do something new in my life. And maybe Noah as well expressed that type of interest at some point. I'm doing myself a lot of disservice if I'm now saying, Noah is not taking it seriously. Therefore, let me wait until Noah gets his results. Everyone is different. Let's not compare ourselves to others. If we want to do something, or if you truly genuinely believe that this is the journey for you, or this is the pathway right now, don't look at anybody. The only competition that you have is you. I look into the mirror and say, hey, how can I attain the best version of this individual that I'm looking at in front of me? So don't compare yourself to others. Oh, I came onto a journey with someone, or I want to learn something with someone, or I want to upskill with someone, but this person is not taking it seriously. Therefore, I'm not going to take it seriously as well. We'll be doing ourselves a lot of disservice. So remember, the beauty of potential is that if you put in the right effort, and if you've got that resilient spirit, you would definitely achieve what you want. So please remember, resilience, effort, and right strategy. Underneath it is looking inwards. What are the people around me? Are they going to stop me or help me? If the answer is no, it's time to move away from that. If they will help me, it's time to ensure that I hold on to them very tightly. And I would get advice from people that can support me. But I think it's also important. This links very, very swiftly into mindset, which I will take us through in terms of the trap that our own mind set for us, and the danger of us falling into that trap as a person today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tara. That was very powerful. And I hope that we're taking note. It's very important, team. I know some of you came here thinking, we want to sell business analyst, tech role to you. That is far from what the expectation is today. We want to talk to each other about mindset. All of what Tyra has been talking about is truly and really about mindset, because that is what shapes you. That is what controls you. That is the foundation of any transformation, right? So look at all the successful people. I want you to take that as an exercise today. Look at all these successful people and just research the type of mindset that they have. It is super important for us to actually take care of the things that we think about. Sorry, baby problems there. All right, so mindset controls every transformation. The person that you want to be. I want you to think about, who do I want to become in the next couple of years? Now you're in Australia, you're in the UK, US. I see some people in the US joining us. I know it's like very, very late where you are. Thank you for joining us. But you need to have a design for your life. When I was growing up, and somebody would tell me, "Oh, what is your 5-year plan?" I always see it like a chore. Like, what do you mean 5 year? I'm just trying to survive today. Why do I need to worry about 5-year plan? Today, I have come to the realization that I need to smell how my life would be when I'm 20 years from now. Well, by the grace of God, that I'm still alive. I need to be able to smell the kind of house that I'm going to live in, the kind of car that I'm going to drive, the type of people that I'm going to have in my circle, the kind of job or whatever I'll be committed to, my calling. I have designed it. I know where I want to be. And it's not anything materialistic. It's the quality of life that I've genuinely and consciously designed for myself. And that's what we want to really emphasize today. It's not truly about business analysts. There are people that needs to be great accountants. Your talent is to be amazing doctors. Your talent is to be the best lawyer and change life. All jobs are equally important. But you cannot settle. If you're in a job where this is not truly your calling, you're in the wrong situation. And if you don't change that, a job can allow you innovate. Today, I'm an employee and I'm also an employer. I work in a job that allows me to continue to still innovate, changing lives, working with same skills. That is the type of freedom. I know that when I'm 50, I want to be able to say no to money. Like, you would call me and say, "Noah, can I have a 1 hour call with you for $5,000?" And I will have the options to say, "Sorry, I've got something else booked." The other day, I was talking to somebody that I really respect in the community, doing amazing things as well. And I said, "Oh, hi, we just met actually." I was like, "Hey, would you like to come on our podcast? This is what we do and all of that." And he said, "Wow, yeah, I would like to. But this year, 2024, I'm booked out." I was like, "Got it. I get it. I resonated with that so much. Because you can't just be available for the things that, are not priority for you. You have to have priority for your life. What that tells me is that every single time in his calendar has a purpose. And if you don't have a design for what type of life you want to live, then everything, your mindset, how you live will just be, well, this is where it happen. Let's go there. As long as I'm making money, I'm happy. Guess what? Except you have $1 million right now that you're not going to touch, you're not rich. At least $1 million that you're not going to touch, you're not rich. So you can go for all the shift all you like, right? You can do whatever you like and think, "Oh yeah, I've got $250,000, all of those." It can vanish in a minute. And that's why designing your life, the type of life you need, it's not just, "Oh, this is my plan." You need to have that plan, the design, And as I said, you should be able to smell it, feel it. You should be in that room, in that moment, in that car, around the people. And going back to what Tyler was saying, you need to audit the people around you. Do they fit into the type of life I want to live in that time? I speak to a lot of people as well, and they'll tell me, oh my God, this is the first time I'm hearing this kind of opportunity. All the people around me, they're just doing care, disability. They don't even see beyond that. We're just making more. Yeah, that's fine, right? We've seen high rate of divorce, issues in families because husband is coming from shift, wife is going to shift. I told my wife like a few years ago, I said, I'm going to marry you. God has told me we're going to get married, so I can see you that you're my wife. And I'm not a pastor or anything, but yeah, I'm soon going to be a pastor, which is something I'm working toward. But the point here is not about being religious or anything. I told her, you're going to be my wife. I can see it. God has told me, right? And I don't have to be religious or anything. But you see this thing that you would, on Sunday, you will manage to go to church, and when you get home, you're just trying to rush the food so that you can catch that 2 p.m. shift. It's not going to work for us. And you cannot get in a situation where night you're going 11 p.m. because she used to do 11 p.m. shift, 11 to the next morning, 8 a.m. The type of life I want to live, I want to have my family around at all times. Money is not the most important thing to me. I have contentment. I value every other thing, right? That improves my life, that makes me genuinely happy. And she went on that upskilling journey, right? And today she's unstoppable. That is what I'm talking about. So the point here is we need to have a change of mindset, and that is what we are most passionate about. We do business webinars. We empower entrepreneurs, right? I used to have a mindset trap, fear of failure. In my family, my dad was an entrepreneur, right? And yeah, even that, he didn't really understand the system to scale. So he's just doing it on the side. He was a carpenter. He was doing that. He traveled to the UK and did that and made money, but he had a ceiling. But the point is, in my family, not many people are entrepreneurs, so there's not a lot of skills in there. So imagine me trying to change life through seeing skills. I already know that, oh my God, this thing is doomed for failure. But should I allow the fear of failure stop me? And look at where we are. 2 years now, I see amazing people whose life have changed. Sometimes I bump into some of them and they say, do you know my children? He can recognize your voice, can recognize Tosi and Tayo's voice. Because when they are joining the class, of course, their own family ecosystem, they can bump into that, right? That is what we're saying. The impact is not just for them. They are doing this transformational change, not just for them, but for everybody in their ecosystem. That is the transformation. But the mindset trap is, oh yeah, this is too hard. Like, will I succeed? Like, is tech my thing? Can I learn it? Fear of failure. It has helped so many people, and you just sit in the zone of comfort. And 10 years, 20 years. 2 weeks ago, we started another cohort. Somebody said, oh my God, now I've done this for 8 years in Australia. I am tired of it. I'm tired of people shouting me down. Do that in Nigeria, I was this, I was that. I am ready to commit everything now. Right? So you need to get to a point, and that's why we say, hey, everything starts with your why. You need to get to a point where you're sick and tired of your situation. Money is not the only driving factor for your life. When you go for that shift, or when you are 50, will you have the same energy to still be raking the shift? Will you still be the same health-wise? Some people don't sleep.
They don't sleep and they don't understand the impact of not sleeping. It's an endless cycle of working, grinding. You need to create leverage. Another mindset trap, imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud, even when you achieve success. We see people, when they even get the job offer, they're like, no, Tayo, Tosi, it has happened. Oh my God, will I be able to do this? Now, or go for interview. They're literally like, oh my God, they invited me for interview. Now it's real. It's real. God, I'm scared. I'm nervous. We should not be like that. The other day, I was putting up an application for us to showcase our work at the Parliament House. I felt it, and we should always feel imposter syndrome. It's a sign of you doing something bigger than your level. If you're doing something bigger than your level, this imposter syndrome will creep in. And it's a good sign, but you must not be trapped in that cycle. You cannot be. People will tell you in Australia, this is where we work. This is where we work. We built our house. Go and check. It's mortgage. It's everything. It's hours and hours. You need to increase your value so much that you're even scared. Like, back to the story. I put application. I'm like, oh my God, we're just coming up. There's Google, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, all these big companies. Our tech is not ready. It's not fully ready. I don't belong in this room. Look at the caliber of company in this room. Parliament House. I've never even been in Aso Rock. Why am I putting an application to go to the Parliament House in Australia? We don't belong there. And truly, on the day, we were the only black people. We were the only black people there. So we had to reconfigure our brain to say, hey, we're going to punch beyond our weight. Put in the application, and we went to work and say we must not disgrace ourselves, because we are going to be disgracing African people. So we must grind and put in the work. And thankfully, everybody rallied down. The team, we went there. We did an amazing demo. It's going to be like the highlight for us as a company and reinforce the beliefs. And now, those people we just watch in the news, oh, this MP, this, and we have some connection to some of them. Now, what is possible is not, oh, these are people you can never go near. You just see them in the TV. These are people now in my mind that if I want to have lunch with them, I can go and reach out to them and they will give me audience. So we must rise above our imposter syndrome. Fix mindset. I can't learn something. No, this is my limitation. I'm not good at math. I will never be able to do tech or be a doctor or whatever. You should have the growth mindset that, yeah, this is my skill set now, but I'm going to do everything to learn, to grow, so that I can succeed. Scarcity mindset. This one has killed me a lot. Oh, before, you call a course 1K. Wait, are they going to put the book in my head? Ow. I can't phantom it. Right? I can't. Are they going to put that book in my head? No, I'll go and learn it myself. That was my mindset, scarcity, that success cannot go around. You can't buy leverage. Recently, I paid a coach 5,000 AUD to coach me. His name is Dan Mateo. You can check him out. And boy, I have not even attended a one-on-one coaching with him. I've only watched his recorded videos on mindset, on all of these things. My goodness, the ROI for me as a person, paid times how many? It's not even quantifiable. The things that I now believe is possible. And that's going back to Tayo's stuff. I can't get this advice from my mom. My dad is late now. I love her so much. She's, my number 2 after my wife now. Right? But she doesn't know anything about business, mindset, She knows something about business, but in the way I've designed my life, where I want to be in 20 years, she's never done it. So I'm not going to her for advice on that. Now, having a coach opened my mind. It allowed me now introspect. Okay, why does people that watch football, why does Messi, Ronaldo, those guys are the best players in the world? Why do they still have a coach? Why does a football team have a coach? Yes, you can go and learn some things self-paced, but sometimes the rich people have the mindset that I am going to spend money to buy time. But myself, before, I want to spend time to save money. That's why I will not buy a 1,000 course before. Because I say, let me go and figure it out. You don't even know what the standard of success is. So you scratch around the internet, get frustrated, do it for years, do it for men, and maybe abandon. So I'm not going to list all these. I just want to spark a change in your mind. And that's all my goal for today is. Just like I had that light bulb moment when I got a coach. What is possible? What is the design for my life? What are the mindset trap I have? How can I start to diffuse them? That is the recipe for success. Think about, start to research all the kind of people I want to become in 20 years, in 30 years. What mindset beliefs do they have? And how can I incorporate that in my life? Everything is possible. You are the only limiting belief. Stop thinking that you're small. You're just like everybody else. You don't deserve the type of life that you want. It is only for fantasy. It is not. You are more and you should be more. You've done the hardest thing. You've migrated to Australia. It's tough. So I'm going to pass it, to Tayo. We can go on and on, but I want you to take one thing today, that your mindset controls everything. Who you're going to be. What is your mindset? Do you have mindset of champion or the lower to middle class? Think about that. Thank you, Tayo.
No, that's really powerful. Thank you, Noah. Just following on from that, I think it's always extremely very important that we are pretty much looking inwards and trying to scout for what's the opportunity for doing something a bit differently from what I had done before. What is out there for me? What can I do better? And that brings me to the concept of most people, most of us right now, we trade time for money. And the reason I really love this is because it's so powerful, because it encourages people to pretty much rethink how they approach earning a living. Like, what's your approach to earning a living? Like, what does financial freedom mean to you? As of today, we are all pretty much working in we're not aiming to develop a skill that allows us to work in a way where we can charge based on value and not hours. So right now, most times, most of us are stuck in jobs where you need to put all of the time in for you to be able to earn a living. If you're not physically present, it's impossible. If you're not there, and I know that there are some jobs that are absolutely impossible for you to do it from home. If you're not in one of those jobs, or if you feel like personally for you that is not really what you want to do, then it's time to think about some concept around, is there a way that I can develop a skill that would allow me to charge based on the value that I deliver rather than the hours? So for me right now, my job is not based on Tayo, you're going to be present for 8 hours. No one simply cares about my 8 hours or my 9 hours. I could do a work for 15 minutes. That could be all the value therein that is expected. And that could move into big rooms to the execs in the company. And that's all we need. So again, just caveating a lot of things in there is this is quite subjective. There are people who absolutely, this may not necessarily be for you, but I'm talking to people who feel like right now, if I don't if I'm in a place where I don't have the capacity to protect my time, I do not have financial freedom. And contrary to what everyone thinks financial freedom really lies in what you love and a lifetime and a lifestyle where you can genuinely control your schedule. It's not the one where on Christmas Day you're unhappy because you're at home. Easter break, you're sad because you're home. Why? Because you wanted that extra bit of dollars. That's not a healthy way to live. And I know historically, like people would say things like, oh my goodness, oh, are you working on Christmas Day? Yes. Are you working on Christmas Day? No. I'm feeling really sad. You're just chasing the hours. I started this conversation talking about the dangers of that. Those things will not get you to attain that financial freedom that you have, that you want to get to. Especially not even just for today. Thinking about when I'm in my 40s, when I'm in my 50s, do I have enough skill where I can comfortably sit in front of my computer at that age where I'm not in lobbying with people in high school and trying to chase the hours at that point in time? A lot of the things that we're talking about is not simply for this moment where you're nice and agile and strong. You can work 24 hours round the clock. You don't feel it. Let's not focus on today alone. What happens tomorrow? What happens to your 35-year-old self? There are people who retire at 35. There are people who desire to retire at 35 and they work every single day to ensure that they can retire at 35. Who says you cannot be one of those people? Who says at 50, I am still running around chasing 11 to 8 p.m. work? It's all about thinking about the future. It may look good on paper now. Everything may be going good now because you've got that energy. Think about when you're not that energetic. Think about at that age, is that truly what I want to be doing? What more can I do to ensure that every single step, every single action that I take slowly and gradually aligns me to my highest self, to my best self? We've got a lot of potential. We've got a lot of things that we are capable of doing as we are right now. And I love how we've reiterated the fact that it's not simply in the text page. There are really amazing accountants in the room. There are really, really great surgeons, doctors, whatnot. Whatever it is that you love and truly, genuinely believe that this is what I want to do, by all means, please pursue it. And don't get distracted on the journey. I always ask myself this question. Am I more afraid of the power and potential than I am of staying the same? Which is what a lot of people, complacency. I'll just do this one, Jerry. This is okay. I know that I can. I even talk to people and they say, Tayo, yes, I believe that I can be more. I believe that I can do more. But, I've done this for 5 years now, so I don't know. Do not get comfortable. Do not get too comfortable, especially when you know that you're currently working in a place where you're not working towards you're not working within your best capacity. I say the greatest travesty in life is unfulfilled potential, and that's solid, meaning you've got the ability, meaning you can do it. But because I'm too scared to make a change, or because I'm too scared to do something else, I'm just going to stay stuck in that place. So I encourage every one of us to try and think about today, is there a way for me to develop skills that allows me to actually charge based on my value? There are people today who would go and give just a talk, and they would be charging 300K. 30-minute conversation, I've seen it. Why? Because they've got something that you and I don't have. And that 30 minutes, if you're lucky to be in that 30 minutes, whether it is your business or whether it is career or whatnot, you would get a lot of value. What they are selling is value. The question that I ask myself is, what value do I have that I'm covering, that I'm using a bowl to cover? What value do I have that I'm allowing the system to cover? And like I said, there is no excuse. Stop blaming Australia. Australia is not the problem. The system is not the problem. I am the architect of that problem, and I'm going to solve it. If you don't take responsibility, you are losing control of that situation. And when you lose control that you have over a situation, there's no way you can make that better, because you've let someone else take the wheel of that particular thing. So I want to encourage us today to start to think about value per second. I have got so much to offer to the world. I say to myself, I have so much to offer the world. No one can tell me otherwise. I do not believe that there is nothing I cannot do. And that's the way that I live my life. And that means that I have to do every single thing. I need to pay the price to help me maintain that identity. The same way, if I say, look, I'm not good at this thing, I don't think that I can do this thing, you maintain that identity as well, and you do every single thing that takes you farther away from being able to do that. No one was born to be able to do anything perfectly. We all learn. My question to you is, ask yourself today, some of the things that you do absolutely brilliantly well today, right now, did you start off doing those things really well like that? Did you start day one that you did it was perfect, it was like 150 out of 100? No, it wouldn't have been. It's simply because you have allowed it to grow. You have done it repeatedly. Again, we say this time and time, the power of 1%, it has an enormous compounding effect, because I get 1% better every single day. It means at the end of the year, I would be like blown off the roof. So please think about it. Am I more afraid of the power and potential that I have more than staying the same? Like, does that scare me? Am I comfortable to stay the same? Or am I happy to latch on my potential? And what are the things that I would start to do to be able to walk through what is available for me, what I can do, what's the quality that I have, and how can I start to use it? There is nothing right now today that you cannot, that there is not an opportunity to make it even bigger than it is. Let us not settle simply because we are immigrants. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to settle. We don't want to be basic. We don't just want to be backbenchers. We want to be at the top. We want to take lead. We want to be at least for me, I know that I am born to be a leader. I'm not born to be at the back. I want to be at the forefront, making things happen. And with that type of mindset, I know that there's a lot of work that I need to do every single day. I know that this is probably cliche, but nothing good truly comes easy. Nothing good comes easy. There's some sacrifices, work that needs to be put into all of these things for us to achieve what we want to achieve. Remember, to unlock your potential is saying that, oh, yes, I do have this thing. There's something, some people look at you like, I can see a lot of potentials in there, but someone looked at me one day, well, my boyfriend at the time looked at me one day and said, wow, oh my goodness, like you've got really strong project management skills. Like, look at all these events that you plan, look at all the church events, and to me, those things just looked normal. Like, yeah, those are normal things. But someone was looking and saying, is there a way we can put some mayonnaise on this thing and make it better in a way that it would increase your value? Stay away. Who are the people in your life? Again, going back to what I said, the beginning is auditing the people in your life. You need to have people in your corner that can recognize, oh, you've got this potential. Let us nurture this potential. Let us do things. And even you yourself need to be very much self-aware. The greatest way, or one of the ways to attain success, is to be self-aware. And looking was like, okay, this stuff, I am 50% at the moment. It's just, what are the things that I can do to get 100? And when you get 100, it doesn't stop there. You continue to put some ketchup and mayonnaise on it. So that way, 2025, you're still on top of the game. You are still there competing with people who just came. So it is extremely important. Going onwards on mindset, in Noah already like did justice to mindset. I don't know if Noah, if you wanted to talk a bit more on this before I pass it to Tosin.
Just very quickly, the analogy I like to even share in class as well is that going back to what you said about being self-aware and comparing themselves with themselves and otherwise, the Bible says that, right? We see a lot of people, they're like, oh, this person seems smarter than I am. That's a trap. You can't be comparing your own journey, right, with somebody else's journey. It's very important to be aware, recognizing, this is my skill level, this is where I am. Right? I'll give you an analogy. So when I moved to Australia, um, I had some issues about my English. Not like not like I couldn't speak good English. Of course, I've worked professionally all my life. But I just had that mindset that, oh, the caliber of people I need to be working with, of course, I forbid working in care or anything. It was strong, like there was no way I was going to be a partaker of that industry. And, credit to, I'm not saying that, this is a bad thing or it was the design for my life. But I had some concern coming from Nigeria, the accent, and now to Australia. How am I gonna, integrate? Will they understand me? I had all those issues at that. And I remember even my wife would be saying, "Oh, it's not access, it's our access," like helping me pronounce some word better. I'm like, okay, yeah. But the point is, I didn't put my ego on the line. Like, oh yeah, what do you mean? I took the correction. There's somebody helping me gauge, oh, how you pronounce the. Even then, if you go and watch Quote 1, uh, there's a tire in the background telling me, no, why did you pronounce it this way? And I'm like, you're distracting me. Hey, you're allowing me lose my train of thought. And after class, I'll say, I don't like how you were like distracting me. But also, after that, I will reflect, oh, I pronounce it better the next time. And what I'm saying here, we must recognize some of our strength and our weakness. In the same way, if you had a goal that you wanted to melt ice, we cannot think about it. If you have ice in the freezer, it's not going to melt, right? It's still going to stay iced. But if you take it out and put it under room temperature of anything lower than 32 degrees Celsius, it is still not going to melt. I don't know if any of you know, but it takes temperature of 32 degrees Celsius or more to melt ice. So if you take that ice and put it in a room that is still like 28 degrees Celsius, you will see no progress. And maybe as you're heating up the room, you're putting more pressure to heat up the room, and it's getting to 29 degrees Celsius. You're not seeing any changes. You're putting more effort, 30. You're not seeing any changes. You're about to give up. Like, I don't think this is working. The ice is still not melting. A lot of us fall into that trap. This ice is not melting. Look at it. I've been working. I've been putting the effort. But you don't know that there's the power of compounding. So it's moving, but until you get to over or 32 degrees Celsius or over, that ice, you will not see any noticeable changes in that melting process. There are a lot of things in our life today that we are still at the 29 degrees Celsius, 31 degrees Celsius, almost there, but we're about to give up. We must be aware. Am I about to give up at the 11th hour? You must have the mindset that you must continuously learn, always connect to why you're doing something. What is the reason? Like we always say, if you want to transition to tech, what is your reason? It can't just be about I want to make money, six-figure salary. Yeah, there's all of that thing there. There's the benefit of working from home. All of those things are nice. But if you focus on only that, it's like an athlete saying, I want to win Olympic medal. That is my goal. Yeah, that is nice. But do you know how athletes train for that? They grind so much. They may even participate and not win a medal. And then you hear the backstory. They went again, hired a coach, worked hard, come back next 4 years. How many of us can work, like can continue to do that thing for another 4 years to get result? We don't see the challenge. We don't see the backstage. We don't see the behind the scenes. We just celebrate that moment of success. What is the behind the scene in your own life? And do you have that growth mindset? Do you have that positive outlook? Are you putting in the work? Are you honest about putting in the work to achieve the life that you've designed? It is super important. It is super important. So I leave you with that. Think about it. And Tara will continue to take us on the journey.
Very important. I always say something. I say, every vote you take today, every vote you make towards the person you want to become makes that person, every vote you make towards the person you want to become is extremely important. So your vote could be to take an action, which is an action itself. Your vote, it could be you don't want to take an action. And just on what Noah talked about, oftentimes we focus on, hey, I want to get a six-figure job. I want to become the best at this one, which in itself is not bad. But there are greater things that you can focus on that will help you to get a six-figure job. For example, if you focus on acquiring the skills required to get that job, then it is easy for in your mind to keep going, even when it's a bit difficult to study. If I have these skills, then I get to this. Oftentimes, we focus on the outcome alone. We don't focus on the process and the system that helps us to achieve it. And once you lose sight of those important things, it's very hard to let go. If I want to get a six-figure job, that's not the most important thing, right? The most important thing for me is, do I have the skill? Do I know the things do I know what it takes, or the qualities of those people that have those jobs? Do I have it? And if I don't have it, how can I get it? Where can I move to for me to get it? What are the things that I need to start to think about? Which is why it is important for us to delve a little bit more into self-evaluation, looking inwards. A popular question is, if I have the job that I have right now, I was still doing it in the next couple of years, would I be happy? But Tosin is going to run us through the whole concept of self-evaluation. And I would encourage everyone to please answer this question. Get a pen and answer this question. You could answer it during this session. You could answer it after. This is something that I've done myself, and it creates an SOP for me. These are the things that I would want to do. So Tosin would, run us through this session and just give us an understanding of what this really looks like in our context.
Okay, thanks, Taya. So, guys, I think needless to say, Taya and Noah have, provided us with so much insight. But now I think it's time for us to actually ask ourselves some questions, do some self-evaluation, right? So what exactly do you want? You need to understand as a person, where does your passion lie? Because you just can't do something for the sake of doing it. There needs to be a reason. So you need to go back to your why. Where exactly does your passion lie? Why exactly are you doing what you're doing? If you don't have any tangible reason, as to why you're doing exactly what you're doing, then you should question yourself. You probably shouldn't be doing that in the first place, right? So there needs to be some level of interest, right? And sometimes, when we speak about passion, it could be that what's driving you is completely different. But the big question is, how exactly do you even get to where you want to get to, right? Looking at it from a, transitioning to a no-code tech role perspective, for example, the reason we ask some of our students, why exactly do you want to transition? And some of them will say, oh, I want some more family time. I want a job that provides me flexibility. Some of them will say, okay, I just want, that dignity of working in the corporate space. And, so many different people have different reasons. Some people just want to, be able to innovate, provide their skills, throw in ideas and things like that, right? But the big question is, how do you get there? Because you can have all of these plans, you can have all of these motivations and all of these factors that actually drive you. But if you don't ask yourself, how do you get there? Then you are not going to be able to achieve the goal. You're not going to be able to achieve the goal of flexibility. You're not going to be able to achieve the goal of spending family time and, successfully transitioning, right? So again, guys, please remember, the big question is, how exactly do you get there? Now, I provided a typical example of athletes, for Olympics, right? Of course, their goal is they want the medal, right? But it doesn't stop there. Some of them spend years, 4 years, 5 years training just for them to what? To be able to achieve that goal, which is getting a medal at the Olympics. It's the same way, and the same thing applies to everything you do. So if you're looking at becoming a doctor, a surgeon, whatever it is, you're looking at transitioning into tech, the same principle applies, right? How exactly do I get there? The goal is for me to be able to successfully transition so I can work in the corporate space, so I can do this, so I can do that. Yeah, that's all, that's all nice and creamy and right. But how exactly do you get there? And guys, please, it doesn't just happen. It's not an overnight thing, right? The reason why you get there is not because of what you want. It's because of the effort that you put in, the level of work that you put in. Leads me to my next question. What would you do, or what will I do if I knew I wouldn't fail? And this one is very important because the truth is, I would say that for about 90% of people that don't achieve what they want to achieve, the only thing between themselves and the goal is fear. The fear, and particularly the fear of failure. And I'm sure some of you on the call will be able to resonate with this, right? Okay, I'm supposed to do this, but what if it doesn't go wrong? What if it goes wrong? I'll be the laughing stock. People will laugh at me. If I fail, people will say, Shebi, I told you, you just went to waste your money. But guys, you need to be able to punch fear in the face, like Nora always say. Punch fear in the face, right? If you fail, and so what? You pick yourself back up again, right? And that's what, that's what makes up life experiences. You've not experienced life until you fail. I think it was someone that was saying that, the experience actually comes from failing and picking yourself back up again. So please, failure should not be a deterrent for you not to actually attempt your, what's keeping you between yourself and your goal. So guys, please, failure, just think about failure. If you fail, so what? You go through the program, you apply for jobs, you get responses from recruiters saying, oh, you're unsuccessful for the role. What do you do again? You pick yourself back up, you do some refinement, and you apply for the jobs again, and you go for that interview, right? We've had people actually go for like 15 different interviews. We had a student who, when it took about 1 year for the student to actually transition, the student went through multiple iterations of interviews, right? Went for an interview, came back, oh, we provided some advice like, do this way, do this that way, went again, took 1 year. And the truth is, all of us have different abilities. If some of us come on this journey, some people will get offers faster than others. But the main question is consistency. Consistency. So guys, again, leads to my next point. What would you do if you knew you would fail, but you still wanted to do it anyways? And I've spoken about learning from experience. So you need to be able to understand that failure is just, adding to your bank of experience. When you try something and you fail, trust me, it's not wasted effort. right? You are just building a wealth of experience. Building a wealth of experience. And of course, I'm not saying, you should you should just do something and do it shabbily and then fail. That's not building experience. If you cannot beat your chest confidently to say that you've given your best, you've sacrificed a lot. For example, you're coming on this journey, let's say you're working 3 jobs currently, and then you keep on working 3 jobs. That's not going to work. You need to sacrifice something, right? So you put in the sacrifices, you put in the effort, you put in the work, and then, if you fail, that's fine. You learn from your experience. You're building your bank of your wealth of experience. That's okay. But when you don't put in the effort and you fail, then that's not building any experience. So guys, please, even if you want to do something and it doesn't turn out the way that you want it, just make sure that you've put in your best for it. And then leads to the next point. If you repeated the things that you did today for the rest of your life, would it give you the life that you want or not? And this one here is very important, and I feel it just gives me the opportunity to talk about the power of consistency. And the truth is, we've had students successfully transition, not necessarily because they are the smartest in the room, but because of consistency. Because of consistency. We had an offer drop a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling Tayo that this is a testament of this person's consistency. Not about, who is the smartest in the room. And in fact, I would actually value people that, put in the work, provide that consistency, rather than people that feel, oh, I'm the smartest, I can get this, and they're inconsistent about it. Right? So guys, the secret to achieving your goals, the secret to, in this space, successfully transitioning is in the power of consistency. And finally, would you be able to find genuine happiness in another 2 to 5 years in whatever you're doing right now? And this one is probably the most important for me, because I remember I was speaking to someone a couple of months ago, and I asked the person, right, that the person just gave birth to his first child back then. So, and the person was on this journey, but the person has been a little bit inconsistent, dishing out various excuses, right? Taya spoke about excuses. You need to ask yourself a genuine question. Why exactly is this not working for me? Right? You can't keep pointing the fingers to other people or pointing it to the situation. You need to look inwards and you need to ask yourself, why exactly is it not working for me? What do I need to change? If you haven't done that, then you've not kickstarted the journey genuinely. So I was asking this person, so with, congratulations, you've just given birth to, your first child, which is great. And then we pivoted into talking about the person's journey in transitioning. And then I asked the person, and the person was, was really honest with me that, he really wants to change this thing, but he doesn't have the time and this and that. And I said, you need to look at this from a long-term perspective, not just short-term. In another 5 years, will you be happy doing what you're doing? Right? Your son would be 5 years old. In another 10 years, would you be happy for your son to actually see that you're doing what you're doing? Is that going to provide dignity to yourself? Right? And it will amaze you how time flies. 5 years goes really fast. When did we start this year? It's going to be December next week. So you see how the years go by really fast. So you keep procrastinating. Some of you might have been on this call, and then there's something you're probably thinking, you've been thinking of changing career for the past 3 years, but it just hasn't happened. And 3 years has gone by very fast. And that's the same way another 3 years will come and go by very fast. Before you know, 6 years, before you know, 10 years, you're still stuck doing the same thing in the same position. So you need to genuinely ask yourself the question, what do I need to do in order to change my story? Do I need to, like I always say, sometimes some of us we actually need a drastic approach to achieve our goals. A drastic approach. And that's an approach that I would have taken years ago when I was on this journey. In fact, it's an approach that I actually took. And I believe Taya at some point as well took a drastic approach to get herself to where she is. Right? So you need to ask yourself, some of us will need to stop the job that we are doing. Some of us will even need to resign whatever it is you are doing just to break loose, to change your story. So guys, please ask yourself the question, in another 5 years, it might be temporal. If you stop whatever it is you're doing, in another 6 months, if you give yourself that dedication and that consistency to pivot to another career or a career of your choice, right, it will work. Because by then, you know that, oh, okay, this is it or nothing. And that's what I tell people. You need to be able to say to yourself, this is it or nothing. If you haven't gotten to that stage yet, then you've not started the journey genuinely. So guys, in rounding up, for me, I'm just going to say, do a little bit of self-reflection and really think about it. What do I need to do? Do I need to take a drastic approach? You need to be genuine with yourself. Ask yourself these questions, right? And I'm sure we'll be sharing your success stories very soon.
Amazing.
All right.
Amazing.
Thank you, Tayo. Back to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tosin. I think for us to achieve success or to be successful at anything, we need to look inwards and be very honest with ourselves, ask ourselves questions. One thing I always say to people in my theory is I've got my API and my APU, meaning assume positive intent. Someone does something to me, I don't necessarily think they've been rude or malicious in the first instance. I give them a benefit of doubt. And I take the same thing to outcomes as well. Assume positive outcome. I need us to adopt the APU rule. What if you actually smashed that interview? What if you actually nailed that particular thing? Lots of dreams have been killed by a lot of what ifs. Do you know how many things your what ifs might have killed? What if I'm not good at it? Well, what if you are good at it? What if you excellently kill it? Oh, what if I attend that interview and they don't want me? Well, what if they do want you? What if you go there with the right level of preparation and do the exact thing? So we need to always assume positive outcome. Remember, you've done the work. So I'm not saying positive outcome based on nothing, based on no effort. Please, that won't work. Even the Bible says God will bless the work of your hands. If there's nothing in your hand to be blessed, there's nothing in there. God is not a magician either. So nothing is going to magically happen. I'm saying, let us not allow the fear of what ifs or the fear of failure. There's really no such thing. There's really no such thing as even failure. It's the way you say it. It's the way it's the way you perceive it. Failure in itself is a message. It's a feedback. It's telling you, hey, Tayo, you didn't quite do this well. What's an opportunity for improvement in there? Okay, I could have said it this way. Oh, I could have structured my tell me about yourself this way. Oh, I could have gone there with a more structured project. Oh, I could have approached this project differently. So that failure in itself provides you with feedback. And you know the value in feedback. Feedback loads you with knowledge. Feedback loads you with a lot of knowledge. Oh, Tayo, the way you pronounced that particular word, you could pronounce it this way. Oh, really? Thank you. I take that one learning, I put it in my head. I have learned that particular thing. Oh, Tayo, you could do this a bit smarter. You could do this in this way. One more knowledge. So why would I be scared of failing? Why should that even be the premise for anything? So one thing I want to touch on, it's important that we understand also like the physiological connection to all of these things. Fear, anxiety, all of those things, they are what do I call them now? They pass a message. They are pretty much avenue for you to understand that something is not quite okay. It's the same reason you would naturally have an anxiety if we were at the edge of a cliff. Why? Because your brain recognizes, hey, it looks like we're in danger. We either need to call for help or we take a step backwards. Those are normal physiological responses to things. So when you're doing anything big, you will feel scared. Fear would creep in, and that's normal. But it becomes a problem when you allow that fear to just eat you up. That fear will allow you to say, nah, I'm not going to do this. So let's not mix things up. It's okay for you to get anxious about things. It's okay for you to get scared about things. What is not okay is for you to allow those fears stop you from trying. Whether I'm scared, I will do it. Whether I'm worried, I will do it. I do it scared. I do it worried. I have done it. I have learned. I've taken something away from it. So with failure comes feedback. With feedback, you get loaded with a lot of knowledge. And when you've got knowledge, goodness me, you have power. When you have knowledge, you walk into any room, your value increases. So please, some of these people that you see on your screen right now, if I go into their journey, you would appreciate resilience, you would appreciate commitment, you would appreciate tenacity. Were they scared at some point? 100%. Did they feel like they couldn't do it at some point? 100%. Did they feel like, oh, this is a bit too much? 100%. Did they come out at the end of the line? Yes. Why? Because they never stopped trying. I said to myself, if I do not stop doing something, however long it takes me, I would eventually get what I want. So think about how many dreams, what ifs can kill, how many dreams, fears can kill. They felt scared at some point. I recall this particular lady on Black, really amazing lady, came onto the program, knew exactly what she wanted. A bit of stumbling block, but she never stopped. Back and forth, start and stop. Oh, I'm going to do this, went into prayers. Again, is this really what I want? We had that session again. You need to determine, is this what you want? If your answer is a yes, I want to work with you. If your answer is no, I tell you to go back to the drawing board. I'm sorry, I do not want to work with you at this moment because you don't have a real sense of purpose. You don't have anything that is driving you. And if you don't have that, your mind will be so fickle and it's so easy to let go because you don't have a solid, there's nothing in the background holding you together. So I've got these amazing individuals on the screen, again, as a reminder of what is possible, as a reminder of what is possible, as a reminder of what transformation really looks like. This person in the middle had a different journey from these two ladies. This lady had a different journey from here, which is why it is dangerous to compare yourself to other people. So I won't compare my journey to other people. Oh, it's until Tosin gets his job, that's when I will take the training seriously. That is the wrong approach. It is until this happens know your own, know thy why. What is your reason? Work towards it. Eliminate fears. Recognize that anxiety is part of the journey. Do I feel scared sometimes? Yes. Do I feel worried sometimes? 100%. The last time I was in Canberra, for the first time in a while, I was a little bit shaky. I was seeing like all of these diplomats. I was like, goodness me, what am I going to be saying to these people? My mind was starting to play tricks. I said to my mind, why don't you shut up and give me some more positive thoughts that I can act upon? I cannot do anything with this fear and anxiety that you're giving me right now. It is too late. Guess what? I cannot cancel, and I would never cancel. I would never be someone that starts something and never finishes because I'm scared. I would rather do it and fail and come back and go and redo it. I was getting scared. No, I was getting like, oh my goodness, look at all these people. That is even with loads of preparation. That is to tell you that it's a physiological response to when you're doing something big. Your mind starts to feel like, oh, okay, this is new. I've got an interview on the way. Oh, I want to explore a different career path. Your brain, your mind, everything is there. I'm struggling. Like, We've never done this before. We don't know how we're going to fare. So they start to pump some more additional adrenaline or whatever the science word is. They start to put some more energy into it. And you would interpret that as fear. And oftentimes misinterpret it as no, it's because I don't have the capacity. Guess what? It's a normal response to when you do a new thing. So you have to rise above it. And the practical way to rise above it is to track that itemized things. Why am I feeling scared? Because I have an interview. Is it because I haven't prepared enough? That's valid. Yes, naturally your brain would be scared because you have nothing in there that you fed the brain to go out there and say to people. So your brain is worried as well. They're worried for you and they're passing a message. But you're not taking the cue. You're taking the message in a wrong way. You're misinterpreting the message for it's because I don't know what I'm doing. It's because you haven't prepared. So it's not a myth. Transformation is not a myth. It is true. People go on this journey for different reasons, and you too can be that person. Like to my earlier point, it may not be tech, but your success is definitely sure if you put in the work. Breakthrough, like I say to people, breakthrough is a result of many little previous actions. Small, oh, let me read for 10 minutes. Small, let me read for half an hour. Those little, I'm just going to block out 45 to read. Those things amount to breakthrough at the end of the day. Breakthrough is not sudden or just magical or something that just happens by luck. These things happen because you've put in several little actions before that day. Justin shared a story earlier on, and genuinely, the one of our latest success story where this person had a medicine background, it is a full testament of commitment. You know, when you commit, like this person is an epitome of excellence. When I see those type of people, I recognize them. I've seen a lot of amazing people as well come on this journey doing it scared. That is the mindset that we need to have. That impossible is nothing, that you can do just about anything. If you're Christian, you know what exactly the Bible tells you about the ability, about the fact that God has given you the strength to do every single thing. Me, I put it in my 17-month-old every single day. You need to tell yourself that you can do all things through Christ, your strength. And that is how I want him to grow up, not seeing anything as a stumbling block. If you don't take anything out of this session, I want you to remember that if ever anything happens that you don't achieve something, it should never, ever be for lack of trying. Never, ever be because, oh, I should have put in some more effort. Oh, and I would have done this. No, you need to start to eliminate that and move away from backbenchers. There's a lot of possibilities in there. There's a lot of things that we can do. Remember, failure gives you feedback. With feedback, you acquire knowledge. With knowledge, you've got power. You go into rooms, you see nobody but God and yourself because you know you've got something to offer them. So that way you start to eliminate the fear. Anxiety starts to like reduce. Oh yeah, we've prepared. Yes, we know exactly what we need to do. Yes, even if they ask us what we're not too sure of, we know how to navigate that situation. Preparation. And now, for people who do not know, we clocked 2 years this week, and I am super excited. We are delighted, and it's not even just about the 2 years now. It's more around the impact, the lives that have been able to change as a result of the transformation, as a result of the work that we do, the journey. If we scheduled a 3-day session to talk about the journey, because oftentimes, it's so easy to say the after. When you learn about the before, the back end, you appreciate the story even more. What we are celebrating is not just the 2 years. We are celebrating every single immigrant out there who keeps going, pushing at, celebrating all of our Techstars, celebrating resilience, celebrating excellence, commitment, not being scared of change. That's exactly what we're celebrating. And in that spirit, we are doing a lot of offerings. Do you want to tell us what we've got in stock for the team?
Oh yeah, definitely. So for us, I think this is the first time we're actually doing any sort of like deal, so or giveaway. because we're very excited and we're also committed to even going bigger, better. We have that conviction through the votes that we keep casting for ourselves, right? People getting job, people really getting value, people changing their lives, more importantly, and generation mindset shift, which is the most important thing, that you can do anything you set out to do.
Right.
And in the spirit of our anniversary, we're celebrating. And some of you may not know what we offer. We
Yeah.
don't want to tell you, oh yeah, we do training, we do interview prep. We have lots of resources that have discussed that, what we offer, how we support people. But for you to have some high level, we provide an end-to-end support. Right? When you come here, you've heard what we talk about today. It's not just about training or whatever. It is you work with us and you will never have to work on this particular subject with any other training provider, as long as you commit to the process and you want to work. Our strategies has helped lots of people, not just in Australia, UK, Canada, US, to change their life. I like to say change their life, because that's what it's about. And for you to do big things, there's a process. We've talked about that today. So our training is 10 weeks long. We do 2 weeks of building your resume, you really shaping your mindset around how do you attack the job market, right? How is your resume? Like, do you have the mindset of how a recruiter would really want, or what they want to see from an ideal candidate? Are you marketable? Do you know how to position your skills? A lot of people have skills and experience. They don't know how to present it because it's a different context from Africa, right? Where you have network. Here, you may not have network at all. So you need to go the extra mile to position yourself, to optimize your profile, to optimize your skills. All of those things we work with you on. And also, we always say we don't want to optimize you for entry level jobs. Hey, you've got a lot of transferable skills, and we say that we don't want to throw that away. Competition is hot at the bottom. We don't play small. You've heard all the things we've talked about today. The design for your life cannot be small. We can't be thinking small. We want you to enter the room. Like so many people now, feedback. Oh, no, Tayo, I'm just in the CBD, Parramatta, looking through this skyscraper, going to the office. Or like, it's just incredible. A shift from what they were doing before, right? Which is somebody shouting, "Oh, you're stupid! You're riding," or you're. I heard the funny one this week. You're Uber driver for some people. Like, I want you to break free from that. You need to do better. We need to be recognized as a community of, oh my God, that African community where we want to make decisions about policies, about things that will affect immigrants. We need to go talk to those set of people because we have a say. We have a say in the room because we're making decisions, because we're innovating in that space, not because we're just settling. Now, pastor told me this week that one day he was doing an application and he said, oh, this is what the job I do. He was working in disability then. And they said, oh, this is a fluid job. And that was the last time. That was the last time he did that type of job. It's like, what do they mean by fluid job? Like, fluid job, a job you don't need any skills. You can, anybody can do it. What they are saying is they don't rate you. They don't rate you. So money is not the only thing that will give us sense of belonging. Like, you want to get to 10 years now and your 1 hour is worth $5,000. People want to talk to you for 1 hour to get a value that will make them millions. They will pay. If you say it's 20K per hour, they will pay. And those are some of the mindset things we need to divorce ourselves from. Like, hey, I can never pay anybody 20K per boy. If somebody said, I'm going to give you this way where you can build this company, this is my blueprint for building a $100 million company, But I'm going to give you that blueprint in 1 hour. And of course, you generate the result for you. Would you do it? Would you say, oh, because it's 1 hour and it's 20K you need to pay, or it's 200K, I will not do it? Before, I would have said, no. All right, I was like, how can I pay this and that for that? But now I understand leverage. I know the value of having system. The people that have done the thing you aspire to, they've made those mistakes. They've had the benefit of time to make mistake over and over. Like somebody will say, oh, today I want to start a company in Australia, right? I've been running company for 2 years. I've failed in many parts. I've learned a lot of things that works, so many things that does not work. So you have a choice. You may come to me and say, well, no, let's just have a chat for 2 hours. I'm going to pay for. If I say I'm going to charge you 5K, right? Would you pay for it? Some of you will say no. But then you can go and make the mistake and lose thousands of dollars in that 2 years, and you lose time and make the mistake yourself. It's another choice. It's about, do I want to go fast and efficiently, or I want to go figure things out by myself? And that was what I was doing, just to share. I also have mindset issues, right? I still have the ones I'm trying to break through from. When we started, I'm like, I'm going to learn digital marketer. I'm going to learn how to build website myself. I did all of that on the surface. I'm going to learn social media. I'm going to learn this training, delivery, customer care. I just want to learn every single day. I'll be grinding, learning but as soon as I knew how to actually build a business, I know that you can be anything, but you cannot be everything. And I want you to think about that. You can be anything, but you cannot be everything. I can't be the expert building the website, doing digital marketing. So you need amazing people to build that leverage. And that is why companies hire experts, people that have skills. And that's what we're saying you should do. Build skills so that you're more attractive to companies. So when you position yourself like, hey, I've got these skills, I can solve this problem for you in this way, that is value to the company, and they hire you. So it's no more about how many hours you do, it's the result you get for them. And the more result you can get for people, the more what you can earn, leverage, which is what we say you should build over time. Be so skilled that you create so much value in the world that it's not just about hours. Somebody wants your 5 minutes, you can charge $1 million because you give them so much value in that 5 minutes, maybe as a result of what you've created that works, and then you don't even speak to people. I told you I've not spoken to my coach that I paid money, but I've gotten value out of some of the assets that he has created that I'm using in my business to learn, to coach my own team as well. That is leverage. What leverage are you creating for your life? You will not be able to create leverage if you don't even see road to even innovate, because you're bogged down in the shift mentality, or you're just bogged down in operations, or the work you do sucks your energy so much. You're so stressed that you cannot even think about the next thing other than how to survive and make the next dollar. The next dollar must not always be our priority. It's about, how do I increase my value? So you want to work with us, it's time bound, right? And as I said, we've never done, and you can check our page or website, we've never done 20%, whatever. I said to the team, they asked me, oh, no, we should do this. I struggle to do that because I'm not trying to attract people to come to us. I don't want you to sign up because there's a discount. My coach will tell me, right? He says that the transformation happens in the transaction. By the time you commit that money, like, hey, I'm going to do this, right? It also helps you to think about, oh, I have to get the best value out of that, right? Now I need to show up. I give you a quick story. So my coach was sharing how, he had a coach. Of course, he has a coach for different part of his life as well. And the coach said, okay, this is my fee, $100,000, and we're going to go on a 6 week. I'm going to show you how to build $100 million company. And immediately he made that transaction. Bam, the transformation started, because they told him our first call is going to be in 2 weeks. So before that 2 weeks, he had already started thinking about all the things he needs to do, all the questions he needs to ask. The mindset shift already started, because he has committed so much. He needed to get the best value out of it, right? So the transformation happens in the transaction. This is free. If we charge for it, we know that 1, 2, 3, 5 people may come, whatever, they get value, but sometimes we don't value what is free. But I tell you, some of the things we've shared today is compounded knowledge from many years experience, failure, sweat, late nights, early mornings, different pain, different experience, books, so many things we're sharing with you for free. It won't always be this, I tell you, for a free, because I've designed my life so much. We have designed our lives so much. It won't always be free. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. I live for myself. I'm in competition with myself, with yesterday. So if you want to jump on this offer, this is it. It will be for a limited time. And I've told the team, actually, it's just for 1 week, because now, unfortunately, before this course started, we couldn't change the time. A designer put 31st. I said, no, it's not going to be 31st. Even Black Friday is not that long in any business. So it's not going to be 34. It's 1 week, one-time offer. If you want it, you take it. You scan the code and you get 30% of our price for a one-time period. And that's it. We return back to our normal service. So again, it's not for everybody. Like Tayo said, only people who have a design for their life, who are passionate and are ready to do the work. At the end of the day, we don't do magic. We don't do magic. We support you end to end to get the result, but it's impossible for you not to understand that we don't do magic. There's work for you to do, and that has to be clear. But thank you so much. I'll pass it to Tayo, and I think we're over time.
Yes, indeed we are. Well, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for staying all through this session. I genuinely do hope that you have gotten some value out of this and you have learned at least one thing that you didn't know before. From some of your comments as well, I have learned one more thing that I didn't know before. But this was a really great session. And just to cap off, one thing I want to leave every single person with is do not ever sign up for anything just because it's on discount. Because it's going to be hard work. Do not jump on anything without understanding the true value that lies beneath it. If you don't understand the true value that lies beneath something, you could never ever give it your best. And if you cannot give it your best, I simply would struggle to work with you. We only want to work with people who've got genuine sense of purpose, people who have a real reason for wanting to do stuff, because we know that way they can get their true outcome. If you don't, I don't want to be babying people, and I'm being quite this is like safe space and being completely honest with every single person on the call. So please do not come on board just simply because it's an offer. If you cannot itemize 1, 2, or 3 reasons why this is important to you, I think it's time you kind of need to take a step backwards, think about it, and then perhaps if you want to have a chat with someone in your connect, or even if you want to have a chat with us, feel free. But just generally, as a rule of thumb, for you if you want to get into any new thing, you need to understand what's the value in there. What's the value for me? Once you understand the value, you then list out how can you optimize for you to get the best value out of it. So how long is the offer running for? Millicent, the offer is running for 1 full week. I think that is super generous. It is for 1 week. And if you want to have more chat about the offer, 100%. Kingsley is asking what the offer is. The offer is on the screen. I'm sorry if you cannot say, but it's 30% off our learning fee. But we can have some more. You can reach out to us if you want more conversation. But does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions in relation to anything that we've discussed, the career generally? Otherwise, we'll have to round up this session in a minute. Does anyone have any further questions or any other information or comment they would like to share with us? I can see someone unmuted their microphone. Abby.
Hi. I just wanted to say that it was actually a very insightful
Thank
cohort
you.
or class. I don't know what to call it, but it was really, really nice. It was a very insightful meeting. Learned a lot.
Thank
I would be coming into your DM to have a conversation afterwards. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you, lovely. Really kind comment from you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Millicent. For us, it's important that we all truly understand that we can be more, we can do more. Please do not settle. Please do not survive. Do not solely survive in the country. The true value is living in a place where you're thriving, you're doing the things that you genuinely love. But other than that, I think congratulations to you all for making it to this session. I mean, it's our second year anniversary. There's a lot of really amazing stuff that we've got in store. There are bigger things as well that we would love to do as well. And we just want you to also connect to that I am not in this country to just be a bench warmer. I want to be at the top. There's absolutely no reason that you are not an employer of labor. Like, because the thing there is, if you're just in a place where you're like chasing hours, you're chasing the hours, you can't really think about how to innovate and do other things in your life, because you're just focused on you're being an Uber driver somewhere because you're driving someone up and down. You can't think about other things. By the time you're back home, you're tired and you want to rest. So let's think about these really important things. Am I happy on my job? Am I fulfilled? If I was doing this job in another 365 days, would I be genuinely happy? Whatever your response is, I really hope that you can look inwards and take an action today. But on behalf of myself, Tayo, Noah, Tosin, and the entire team, we would love to say massive thank you to you all. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, appreciate your comment, and appreciate you just, being here and wanting to learn more on how we can all be better. And I pray God helps us in Jesus' name. But until next time, I hope you all have a lovely Saturday. And please remember to breathe and smile, okay? Let's just remember, let's stay healthy, smiling, let's be happy. Life is good, God is good, and God bless. See you all later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.